I'm Sari Kimball, and I've done just about everything in the food industry. I have helped hundreds of packaged food business entrepreneurs, and now I want to help you make your delicious dream a reality. Whether you want to be successful at farmers markets, online, or wholesale onto store shelves, food business success is your secret ingredient. I will show you how to avoid an expensive hobby and instead run a profitable food business. Now let's jump in. Well, hello there, and welcome back to the podcast. It is officially 2022, and I am excited. I don't know about you guys. I hope you had a great New Year's, and I am so curious. What is your big goal for 2022? Is it exciting? Are you excited by your goal? Is it maybe a little scary, kind of catch you a little bit in the throat, make you like have a little butterflies? That is the kind of goal you want to go after. And I'm not talking about a resolution. I am talking about a goal. There is a difference, right? We don't want to just like go strong for a couple of weeks. Think about like losing weight or getting into shape or any of that stuff, right? When we make resolutions, we almost always fall short because we go hard in big bursts, but we're not setting a plan that's sustainable, that's manageable, and going to set us up for success. So that's definitely not what we want. So I want to encourage you, if you are coming into this year saying, I'm going to I have a resolution to start a packaged food business or to grow to a certain amount in sales. That is not what we're doing here. We want to have a goal, and then we're going to break down that goal into action steps. So in the goal workshop that I did in December for Food Business Success members in there, it was so good. And what I offered was my planning tool, how I think about goals and how I break them down into manageable chunks, but we list everything that needs to be done. We create an action plan, we put it on our calendar, and then we start showing up and executing. That's it, right? That's how you accomplish a goal. And I'll just give you a little hint here. If you want to access the goal workshop, go ahead and apply to Food Business Success. You'll get on the wait list because it's not open right now, but I do offer you in a couple of emails that come, I offer you access to that goal workshop. So I first want to just say a little caveat that I want you to caution you on your goal, whatever it is. Maybe it's to get into manufacturing. Maybe it's to grow your sales, to replace your full-time job, or maybe it's just to, grow your sales to become profitable and have a lucrative side hustle. And maybe it's to launch your business, whatever that goal is for 2022. I want you to just check that and make sure that it's not because you think that you're finally going to be happy when you reach that. Happiness is not the goal. Happiness has to happen in the destination. We have to have fun as we're going along on this journey. And I maybe said that wrong. So let me just say that. Happiness comes in the journey towards the destination. I will tell you, I have reached many goals and I have watched my clients reach many goals. And without fail, there's always something new that comes up. There's always going to be more problems to solve. There's always going to be another milestone to reach. You're never there. You never arrive. And success, happiness is not the reason to go after a big goal. It is a reason to challenge us, to help us grow, to evolve us. I really do believe as humans, we are at our very best when we are doing hard things, when we are improving ourselves, when we are contributing to the world. So in this goal workshop, I posed a question towards the end that we went through and listed all of our actions and what needs to happen in the next quarter. So I had people break down that annual goal into the first quarter of the year. And I asked them, how can you make this goal inevitable? And so I wanted people, if they're doing this process, to start writing some ideas on how you can make this inevitable. And this is such a great question. This is an example of a high quality question because our brains will go to work to solve these questions. But usually we ask ourselves very low quality questions. We ask ourselves like, when will I finally get it right? What's wrong with me? Why can't I ever figure this out? Right? And those are very low quality questions, and your brain will almost always answer with something very negative. So asking yourself high quality questions like, how can I make this goal, achieving this goal inevitable, is so powerful. So just kind of sit with that a little bit. And I'm going to give you kind of two buckets to think about with some ideas. I'm first going to show you an example of making a goal inevitable that's non-business related, something in my life. And then I'm going to take you through a client example as well. So I thought this would be a fun one because it's completely not about business, and you're going to, learn something, a little fun fact about me. So I have been wanting to get a tattoo for probably 5-ish years. I have been thinking about it. I have been, at times I've gotten very serious about it. I think I've always thought, well, I got to be really cautious about putting something on my body. Am I going to want to look at this in 10 years, 20 years? So, but I've always thought like, it would be really cool, be really fun. I want to get a tattoo, but I want it to be something really meaningful and something that's going to be, that I'm going to love, down the road. So I've even gotten really excited. I've made professions to my friends and family. At one point, my mom even gave me money for a birthday gift to put towards the tattoo. And yet here we are 6 years, 5-something years later, and still no tattoo, right? So I was thinking about it I want to get a tattoo this year, and I know exactly when I want to get. So that has happened, right? That's usually the first step, is figuring out exactly what you want. So I've done that. I know exactly what I want to get. I know where, and I have a pretty good idea of the style and what I want it to look like. So first, to make it inevitable, I had to decide those things, right? That took me 5 years. So here we are, 2022. How do I make this inevitable? Well, first of all, by me just declaring it to all of you, I am making it more real, right? I'm taking it out from my little personal bubble where I'm just thinking about it in my head. And I'm actually, proclaiming it, which ultimately is going to give some accountability, right? That I now need to actually follow through, right? And so we know that, first of all, just saying it out loud to other people, making a commitment, increases your likelihood of achieving that goal. And then secondly, when you get accountability, that takes it to 95%, right? So then I was thinking about, okay, what do I actually need to do? Well, I need to find a tattoo artist, right? I need to figure out how much it's going to cost. I need to just kind of finish the drawing and finish what it's going to look like. And really, that's kind of it. But I have been in a lot of drama about it, right? And then I just need to make the appointment and commit to it, make sure I have the money, right? That's kind of it. So this last weekend over New Year's, I went ahead and was thinking about, okay, let's just do it. I've been in my head about it. Let's start asking people for recommendations. So I posted on Nextdoor and said, does anybody have any recommendations? Well, one person came back. I checked it out. Wasn't really my thing. So I just Googled women tattoo artists in Denver. Right. And so I read this article, checked out each of their recommendations, and I found somebody who is highly skilled in this kind of watercolor tattoo style that I want. Went to her website, Well, she is closed for bookings for right now for 2022. So now I'm going to put on my calendar to check back every week until I see that she is open for bookings. And that's kind of it. Like now I've made a decision, right? I am putting it on my calendar. I'm going to submit as soon as she's open for proposals. I'm going to make sure I have a good understanding of probably how much it's going to cost, make sure I have that money. And then I'm going to make the appointment and do it, right? I'm going to make it a priority. So that's a simple example. And oftentimes that's going to be what it looks like when you start breaking your goal down into smaller and smaller chunks. How do you make those small pieces more inevitable? So you guys can hold me to it now. My goal is by the end of March that I will have a tattoo on my wrist. And I will show it all to you when it's done. How fun is that? Okay, next I want to take you through a business client example. So I have a client who already has a food business and she's doing very well in her business, really setting record sales every year. She just is growing. It's really fun to go on this journey with her. And we're really working on taking the business to the next level. So she had a goal that in 2021 to reach a certain amount in sales. It was going to break her record by about $5,000 to reach this amount in sales. So it was a big goal, right? That for a lot of you guys, you're like, what? Exceed a goal by $5,000. So it was a big stretch goal. And she had tried in multiple months to do that, but just had fallen short by about $5,000 every time she had tried. So now it's December of 2021, and she hasn't done it yet. And she came to me and said, "I really have this, I have this big goal, but it's the last month of the year, and my sales on opening weekend," she opens at the beginning of every month, "are not nearly where they normally are. And how on earth am I ever going to reach this big goal?" She was really kind of feeling defeated and kind of came to that call just sort of like, I don't know. It's not going to happen. She was already disappointed ahead of time. And it was December 4th. So we went through, we coached first, and we did what I call a model. So we looked at, here's the circumstance I want to make, or here's what I brought in so far for the month. And then we went through her thoughts and feelings and the actions and what result that was creating for her. And I can tell you the result that it was creating was not the goal that she was going after, because she was taking action from a very hopeless place, right? Very defeatist. So we coached on that. And then I said, okay, well, let's work from the bottom up. Let's set the result as making this goal, right? Making this record in sales for this month. And then we backed it up and we talked about what kind of thoughts would you be thinking? You would be thinking I can do this. I can figure it out. It can be fun. It can be easy. I can do this, right? And then the feeling that created was motivated and committed and even excited. So then we brainstormed all the actions. We just kind of threw together, what could you do over the next, 20 some days in December to make this result inevitable? So she and I brainstormed all these things, and I said, but it's got to be easy. We can't be overly complicated. We can't set up some whole new program or some whole new product. It's got to be easy. So she, 2 weeks later, came to our call and said, I'm only it was $800 away from making this goal. And it was a big goal. And, it was so exciting. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You are crushing it. She really showed up. She was coming from that place of keep it easy, keep it simple, but also taking massive action. Like she was doing a lot, getting ideas out there, trying things. And it was working, right? And I said, okay, well, how can we make this last $800 inevitable? So we went through that. And then, when I'm recording this, we're not even quite at the end of December. And she already messaged me and said, I'm like way over the goal. So she's setting like a whole new record. She like exploded, totally beat the record, and is going after so much more. So it's so fun to be a part of that. And that's what I want you to think about. So there's two buckets that I look at when I work with clients when we talk about how to make a goal inevitable. And one of them is action, right? And then the other one is our mindset. So let me talk about action first. Grant Cardone says that you have to 10 times the amount of action to achieve that one result. So if you look at it kind of like an equation, 10 times, like it's not a 1-for-1. I make one sales call and I get one account. To get one account, you have to 10 times your action, calling 10 accounts, right? Visiting 10 stores if you're doing wholesale. So if I want to create that result, what actions can I just go big on? Massive action is what we want here. And this is not just like, I'm going to passively consume information. That's what you're doing right now, listening to this podcast, but you actually have to take action. So to increase sales, you want to increase your number of offers, which might mean visiting a certain number of stores, right? If you visit 20 stores a month, the odds are you're going to land, 2 to 5 accounts. And then you can grow the sales there. Maybe you need to attend more markets if you're doing farmers markets, or show up in a bigger way and really reach out to people, right? Really try to grab people, improve your marketing materials, improve your sampling, improve your conversation, right? So how can you make more offers to people so that you then can increase your sales? Social media is a really big one, right? You guys, so many of you are very scared of social media. And I want to just encourage you, B minus work, 80% rule, get it out there. So can you do a Reels challenge for yourself, or a posting challenge where you're going to, do 5 posts a week, or 3 reels a week, or a 30-day reel challenge? I've offered that to a couple of my clients just to see what will happen if you show up every single day and do a reel. And you will get fast at it. You will drop all of your self-critique, right? And you'll just put it out there. It's pretty powerful. Can you reach out and form partnerships? And again, not just reach out to one brand, but reach out to 10 brands, 20 brands. If you reached out to 100 brands and asked to create partnerships, I guarantee you're going to get 10 of them, right? And so it's all about 10 timing, right? Going big after our actions. You might want to actually invest in hiring people to help create sort of that a little bit of pressure. Like, now I got to really take action. And it can take something off your plate that you are not good at, right? That is not your zone of genius. Definitely recommend this more for people who have an established business and they really want to take their business to the next level. Also, investing in programs. So signing up for my $27 workshop is a great first investment if you just have an idea in your home kitchen. When you pay for something, you pay attention. And so I really believe in the power of putting some money down and again, creating that a little bit of pressure on yourself to like, now I'm I'm committed and I'm going to show up. And then if investing in programs like Food Business Success or one-on-one coaching, where again, you're going to create that accountability, you're going to get support, you're going to get expertise, and it is going to get you there so much faster. So those are just some examples of some action, right? But you guys notice on these podcasts that a lot of the ones I do solo are not necessarily about the nitty-gritty how-to. of starting a packaged food business or growing one, I really focus heavily on your mindset, because anybody can have a great idea. Anybody can have a goal, and anybody can even start taking some action towards it. But it is always, always, always the mindset stuff that really trips people up. And it will slow you down if you don't focus on this. So a way to make your goal inevitable is both to take action, but also work on becoming a better managed person, evolving yourself, evolving your brain, and kind of doing some mind hacks here. So think about, who would I need to become? Like, what does a badass business owner do? Who are they? How are they showing up? And thinking about, how can you step into that person? I will tell you from experience that a badass CEO, founder, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call yourself, business owner, is consistent. They have self-discipline. They manage their mind, right? And so committing to things that are going to help you do small, manageable, sustainable actions every day, but managing your mind around that. So for instance, I got a Peloton a while back, and they have like all these badges, right? 500 rides, 1,000 rides, whatever. It starts with consistency, right? I can't just jump from 0 to 1,000. All it takes is that I show up a certain number of times a week, and eventually I will get to that number, right? And I'm going to get stronger and fitter and faster. So the same goes for you as you grow, as you become a business owner, as you step into this and who you need to be to achieve results. So consistency is huge. Self-discipline. I want to encourage you. This is the perfect time to start a Badass 30. This is all about creating self-discipline in small ways. So go back and listen to episode 50, grab the worksheet, and let's start a Badass 30 together. And the rules don't have to be hard. You're going to pick 5 things that you're going to do every single day. They don't have to be hard. In fact, I don't want them to be too hard. I've actually worked with some clients recently, who get to, 10 days, 15 days, and then they give up, right? They kind of get to that place, and then they have a loss, and then they get to that place, they have a loss, and then they give up. So I talked with them about creating a minimum baseline. So some of their rules were actually too difficult to achieve every single day. But I said, what if you could do, instead of, one person had not doing 0 social media. And I said, well, what if you just you say, I'm only going to do 10 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, right? So you're limiting yourself. So it's like a minimum baseline where it's not just a cold turkey, right? But it's setting that. And it could go the other way where somebody had said, I'm going to spend 2 hours a day on my business. Well, that may not be realistic. Let's back it up and say, can you spend 20 minutes a day on your business, right? So sometimes we need to make things a lot more manageable. So I want you to just create 5 rules, small things, small wins, right? Because you're going to start training yourself in a belief that you are a person that shows up, that honors your word, that can follow through. Because my guess is that's where the issue is. It's not in the product. You guys know how to make a delicious product. That's not the issue. And maybe you're even taking action, but you're not being consistent and you're not being disciplined. And you say oh, I need to do this, this, and this, but you're not actually putting it on your calendar. And even if you do, in the moment, you're not going to want to do it, right? You're going to procrastinate. You want to and even if it's productive procrastination, you're still going to procrastinate. It's very common. So I now have built up trust with myself and what I work with my clients on is building trust with themselves. When they put something on their calendar and they don't want to do it, they do it anyway. Right? And that's building up trust and self-discipline. So definitely consider doing a Badass 30. January is a perfect time to do that. Start building in consistent daily actions. And again, it doesn't always have to be around business. It could be like drinking a certain amount of water a day, or some of the little ones that I've encouraged some of my clients to do are the gain versus the gap. Doing every day, you write down, every evening, you write down like 3 gains that you made that day super fast. I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and it's amazing. And then you also write down 3 gains for the next day. So you're kind of setting your brain up for success already. So that's one thing you could try. Another thing is just jumping out of bed every day and saying, yes, right? Throwing your hands up in the air and saying, I embrace today. I'm alive. I can do this. My heart is beating and I embrace the day and I'm going to go for it, right? It kind of sets yourself up for that success and looking for the good. Another one I've encouraged people to do is a high five habit. And there was a great podcast I listened to, Mel Robbins, I believe. She wrote a book called The High Five Habit. And so every day you look at yourself in the mirror, and she recommends doing it right after you brush your teeth because you're right there. And you kind of just, with compassion, with just honoring yourself for where you're at and showing up, and you high five yourself in the mirror. So I've had people doing that, and somebody even is working with their kids on doing it. It really will create a positive self-esteem in you. You might laugh the first couple times, but it's actually like, because high fives are always sort of related with success and achievement and doing something great, you're training your brain that way. So there's just some quick examples of things that you could very easily add to your day, and do it every day to start feeling better, feeling more motivated, feeling a little more inspired, and setting yourself up for wins. Managing your mind around your fear and your confusion and your doubt is so important. I don't want you to say the words, I don't know, anymore. Like, those words need to be off limits to you, right? So when you catch yourself doing it, have compassion and say, of course you're thinking this, but now we're going to figure it out. Now we are going to know, right? We're going to make decisions and we're going to keep taking action and moving forward. Measuring the gain, not the gap, super important. Mentioned that already. And then I would say one of the biggest keys in your mindset is not doing this alone. When you try to do this all in isolation, it's super lonely. You are going to kind of cower to fear and doubt and confusion more often. And we know that getting accountability and support, you are 95% more likely to achieve a goal. So that is why I have programs like Food Business Success, where we have group coaching. We have a community that's just people like yourself doing this work, and we can support you. And when you pay, you have transformation. You are more committed when you are investing in yourself and your business and who you are becoming. So that was just a quick list. I'm sure there's a lot more things. I would love for you, and don't say I don't know, but make a list of like 10 ways that you can make this goal inevitable, whether it's a quarterly goal or your 2022 overall goal. Like I said, I do recommend sort of breaking a big goal into quarters. And then what we did in the goal workshop is break it in quarters and then look at it week by week and put it on your calendar. That is the key. And then you actually show up and honor your word and you do that action. So this is all about compounding, right? Creating that consistency, self-discipline, showing up for yourself. Again, don't make this a resolution where I'm going to create a business in 2 weeks and go hard. That is not going to create inevitability. That's not how we get businesses done. That's not how we grow. That's not how we achieve goals. We do it through small daily actions and wins. So setting a minimum baseline, I'm going to do 30 minutes every day on my business, or maybe it's even less, right? Or 3 hours a week, whatever that looks like for you that you can manage. But think about 10 things you could do, some mindset, some action that are going to make that goal inevitable. All right. I actually re-recorded this podcast. I don't normally do that, but I felt like I could make it more succinct and just really dial it in. And I'm really glad I did, because I really do think that this is a lot better than the first one I recorded. And I wanted to make it shorter and just more punchier, to the point, right? So I really hope you will take this and run with it as you're going into 2022. Sit for a little bit, write this out, really focus on making this inevitable. And of course, I want to remind you to sign up for the Whip Up a Business workshop. If you just have an idea, this is $27, and we are going to do a 90-minute workshop where you're going to come out with a roadmap with your next action steps to get it done in 2022. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about the content. Been working on it the last few weeks. It's awesome. Food Business Success will be opening soon, later in January. So you want to go ahead and get on that wait list by applying. Just go to foodbizsuccess.com and then click on I have an idea. Or if you want one-on-one, even more accountability, more support, more expertise, all the things in my brain, you get full access to Food Business Success, but we also have our weekly coaching calls. That is where you can sign up if you want, in the other column on foodbizsuccess.com, or you can go to sariekimball.com and that'll get you there, and you can apply for the coaching program. That's it. That's how I work with you. That I keep it simple. But I would love to be a part of making this inevitable for your big goal in 2022. All right, you guys, until next time, have an amazing week. Are you ready to start that delicious idea that you make in your home kitchen, or grow your existing packaged food business and take it to the next level? The most successful food business entrepreneurs have support, guidance, focus, and accountability to help them make it happen quickly without wasting time or money. Plus, I think starting your packaged food business should actually be fun. Food Business Success is your secret ingredient to creating your food business dream. Please don't go this alone. Check out the private free Food Business Success Facebook group to connect with other foodpreneurs, get your questions answered quickly, share your wins, and receive special training and tools I only share inside the private community. Just search for Food Business Success on Facebook or get the link in the show notes. Curious about how Food Business Success can help you? Head over to foodbizsuccess.com and fill out the application to see if you're a great fit for the program. Together, let's make your food business dream a reality.